Good afternoon, families. It is Thursday, December 14th, 2023, and I'm coming to you with our Robot Roundup vlog for the week. So we're going to get right into our top 3 for the week. Number 1, we're having a winter celebration this next week, Friday, December 23rd. So please look for an email from our amazing room parent team with a sign up for options on how you can support this. All right, number 2, we asked for help with snacks, and wow, you guys were amazing, and you stepped up and super delivered. So thank you very much for all the generosity and the commitment to all of our robot crew. We're just super lucky to have everyone, and so thank you very much. That's been huge. Number 3, this is one we've talked about, but I want to remind you. No school on the following days. Winter break starts this next following week, Monday, December 25th, and runs all the way through Monday, January 1st. With school resuming on Tuesday, January 2nd. So just to make sure that you are on that as well. Now let's get into our vlog points for the week. So this week in phonics, we completed our letters C and F, and then we introduced our letters J and W. And we're going to continue to be working on our high frequency words said, on, for, and was in our word ring in our phonics book. Now looking ahead, this next week, we're going to be reviewing our uppercase letters O, L, R, C, F, J, and W before we have our long winter break. And just so you know, by the end of January, we will have completed our core instruction for all of our consonants and short vowels. And then by February, we're going to be moving into more decodable phonics and reading instruction that will pair very well with what we do during reading groups. So just as a kind of a note here, you can see a little bit on my workbook. This is what we've been working on. So like we might work on writing some letter W's, but then we have a significant amount of reading each and every day where we're looking for high frequency words that we know or that we're talking about and learning. And then the rest of the words are words that we might find and read. So like this is what we did today. Dad is not mad. Jim and Lil are not sad. They can go jog. Jim and Lil are pals. And if you don't understand that story, ask your student, because it's one we've been reading in class. And those characters, Jim and Lil, they'll tell you all about it. Now, in reading, we're learning how to participate in what's called reading centers. And if you're not sure what that is, reading centers are a block of classroom instruction time where students have maybe 4 or 5 different tables or stations that they rotate through during instruction. So Ms. Jones and I will lead students on 2 of those spots. So Ms. Jones will have a table and I will have a table. And the other students are where students our other tables are places where students will be working on things we've already learned, like they might be reading independently in their book box, or they might have a dry erase letter practice page where they're working on forming letters correctly, or they might have like a dice activity where they're rolling to see which of our high frequency words they're going to write and read multiple times. So kind of exciting. In writing, we are continuing working on our first 3-page book, and I got to tell you, with a new beginning, middle, and end structure, they're starting to look really good. Students are starting to work on remembering what their pictures were the first time they sat down to write, and then when they come back again, remembering what was my story about, so I can draw a picture in the middle that matches the way that my story starts, and then at the end, my story has an ending, which is pretty important, because sometimes, and you might know this at home, a story that starts out talking about what I did at school then turns into turkey sandwich. And it has nothing to do with where the story started. So we're trying to work on books that make sense from the beginning to the middle to the end. And that just takes practice. So far, our books look good. Just so you know, our writing process looks like this. We start drawing in pencil first. Then we try working on adding some letters to match what we want our picture to say and do the best we can. Then when we have a beginning, a middle, and end with those elements, we come back and then we add color. Coloring is how we finish the illustrations to make our book published and then move on to another story. It's pretty exciting. In math, we have completed our 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional solid shapes exploration so far. So this workbook right here, this workbook should be coming home today in our purple folders. And it stays at home. So I encourage you to take a look at it and read through it. I know your student's going to be able to tell you things about 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional shapes that are just going to kind of blow your mind. because we know quite a lot and we're able to express that quite a lot. Fun things we did this week, we actually used clay and toothpicks to build three-dimensional shapes. I took tons of pictures, which will be really fun. We also had some flat pattern block shapes that we used to make shape puzzles and make different kinds of pictures, which has been really cool. I'm really proud of us. We've done a lot of really great work on our two-dimensional and three-dimensional shapes. And that'll be fantastic. This next week, we're going to move into some shapes and symmetry before going to our winter break. And then we're going to start working on a little bit of addition and subtraction when we come back in January. And then last but not least, we continue to read Runaway Ralph, our chapter book. And this will catch you up before the end of our blog. This week, we find that Ralph has encountered at camp a boy named Garf who catches him in a butterfly net. Now, Ralph doesn't really know if he can trust Garf, so he doesn't want to talk to him just yet. So he does feel really safe in his cage because there's lots of other campers that come and say he's adorable and feed him lots of food. Ralph also has met a golden hamster named Chum who tells him that all things about the state fair and what it's like to live at camp, and sometimes even a little bit of philosophy about how to be a pet. Ralph also overhears a counselor named Aunt Jill talking to the boy that caught him named Garf, and it sounds that Garf is new to camp and he doesn't like being there either. He doesn't like a lot of people and doesn't like a lot of noise. And Ralph, when he hears this, decides that he actually might like this boy and decides the next time he meets and he comes to feed him, he's going to try to be brave and talk to him. But all while this is happening, there's a cat that lives at the camp named Catso, who, of course, is trying to eat Ralph, because Ralph is a mouse. So he started to put his paw through and make a hole in the screen door to the craft cabin where Ralph lives. Is Catso going to eat Ralph? I don't know. You're just going to have to stay tuned and wait for next week's vlog to find out. So I hope you are safe. I hope you are healthy. I hope you're enjoying the fact that we haven't had to shovel at all really this year. That's amazing, but it doesn't look quite as wintry gorgeous as it could. So I hope you're healthy. I hope you're safe. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next week. Bye.